Hi, everyone. Welcome to Spill the Tea Radio, where we interview awesome singers, songwriters, and those who influence their lives. Spill the Tea Radio explores the journey, creativity, and inspiration behind the songs. My next guest has distinctive brand and pop, alternative R&B, and soul in his blood. Born in Toronto, this artist released his debut album, Radio Silence, which led him to plays on Sirius XM and over 400,000 streams on Spotify. He then released Hellion in 2021 and LP2 in 2022. He recently released 5 acoustic reimaginings of his songs in 2023. He also has 1.3 million streams on Spotify to his credit, as well as being number 1 on the People's Soul Choice charts in the UK. So let's spill the tea with Jesse Maxwell. Jesse, welcome to the show.
What's up, David? Thank you so much for having me.
1.3 million streams.
Yeah.
That is quite an accomplishment. How do you, as an artist, influence the number of streams? I mean, other than telling your friends and family and everybody you can think of to go and stream it, how do you do that?
Well, I certainly don't know 1.3 million people. So that was a lot of work on the back end for me. When I started making music, I was like really determined to push it out there any way that I could. I'm not really one for like, well, at least I wasn't one for like front of camera stuff. So posting on Instagram and TikTok and all of that stuff doesn't come naturally to me. So what I did was I basically went on to Spotify and reached out to, a bunch of playlisters and found all and just independently curated playlists. And I would send out my music at every turn in my life that I could. And then it kind of just ran with itself, and it was great.
Jesse, when did you become a professional musician? And I define professional musician performer as when you started to get paid. So how many years ago was that?
As a performer, I would say probably 2 years.
Mhm.
Um, I've been working in like as an artist, quote unquote, artist producer for longer, for I would say professionally 3 or 4. But I really just started getting into um the performance game a couple years ago. Yeah, and it's been really fun ever since.
Some people that I've interviewed that have been in the business for 10, 15, 20 years have commented on how the business has changed over the course of the years. So from the days when vinyl was pressed and CDs were pressed, you're coming into the game when a lot of that kind of thing has already changed. So how do you see artists today getting their name and their product out in front of people?
Well, on that note, I will actually say on my last album, I pressed vinyl, which was something I had always wanted to do. Vinyl's making kind of a cool comeback, and
Yeah.
I have a collection myself, and I use it all the time. So it's a great way to consume music. I'm like very much someone who will listen to an album start to finish. And yeah, so I pressed vinyl for my last album. That was really exciting. But in terms of like getting out there in front of people, I don't know. Like I genuinely think that Instagram and TikTok is really the way to do it. Any like social media platform, like you have so much power today. The barrier of entry is so low, and you really can just like reach the whole world by yourself. It's kind of wild to think about. I think when even like a couple years ago, when I was like starting out and everyone was like, the way to grow is to play shows. And maybe I misunderstood that to be I'm gonna play headlining shows in Toronto. And I kind of just found that I was playing with the same crowd. And they were all like wonderful and loyal and supportive and all that stuff. And I thought it was a great time for what it was. And every show we did was so much fun. I think what would have been helpful would to be like to open on someone's tour, to like kind of tap into an audience and a platform that is not your own. But yeah, it's kind of wild the power that we have to like make a video that's 5 seconds, and like with a click of a button, it can grow and reach people from all over the world. Um, so it's different in that way, and I think for the better, for sure.
In in past times, people would have LPs, they would have vinyl, they would have CDs. CDs were very popular, where artists could press 100 CDs, take them to a gig, and then after the performance, they would sign the CDs and they would sell them for 5, 10, $20, whatever they were selling them for.
Hmm.
You said you press your vinyl. I can't imagine you pressing vinyl for, 50 pieces of vinyl or 100 pieces of vinyl and then taking them to a gig. Or do you do that?
Yeah, I do. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, I definitely do. But it's still something that is niche, and so nowadays it doesn't sell as much. But it is something that I'm really passionate about.
Mm.
Just for the love of music and the love of like being an audiophile myself. So I'll keep pushing it, but the income on it is not 10 out of 10. That's why it comes from other places.
Is it still the dream of a young artist like yourself to get signed with a big record label, or do you prefer that indie life?
I think for a lot of people it is. Not necessarily for me. I think that there are definitely unquestionably pros to signing with a label. Um, and a lot of that is notoriety, and a lot of that is money. Um, and opportunity. And I think that's all great. But there's definitely a cost, and like I like to just kind of move and choose things at my own pace, and I like to call my own shots
Mm.
in my career. So um that is totally something that is given up with a label, and it's been good for me so far. Like I really can't complain. I enjoy being independent. It's fulfilling for me. It's definitely hardworking, and takes time and effort, but it's something that's important to me. And I'm grateful that I have the opportunity and the privilege to be able to focus on it full time.
Mhm.
So yeah, for me, it's not. I think it would be for sure nice to be able to, shoot some crazy music videos, which a budget with a budget that's not my own. Um, but I love working and collaborating with people, and it's not something that I'm missing because I'm independent.
Now that cover that you did today, how many takes did you? How many takes
Honestly, I
did
did too.
you did two? That's amazing.
And usually it's not that, but it really like I don't know who or where I saw this, but it was this like video, and it was like stop taking like 12 takes and caring so much. I like they explained it better than I'm explaining it now, but they were just like just post it because no one cares. Like and not in the way that like you should feel bad about it, but like no one's judging your like one like slightly pitchy note here or there. Just post it. It really doesn't matter. And I got in a comment from someone that was like, I've found my favorite corner of TikTok now. And I'm like, all right, there we go. And I really didn't think about it too much, but like now I put it out there, and people can just enjoy it. And maybe one or two or three people will fall in love with it. And that's more than you can ask.
Well, maybe some people feel that, oh, if that note, well, first of all, as an artist, you notice the pitchy note.
Absolutely.
Most of the people out there are not even going to notice anything that's an imperfection. And I agree with you. There are a lot of artists out there that say, if it's not perfect, then I'm not going to put it out.
For
Some people have
sure.
said, that 30-second TikTok or that 30-second piece, it might take 45 minutes of creativity, maybe a little bit more than sitting down at the keyboard. But artists spend a lot of time uh,
Oh,
putting together
totally.
those pieces.
And those things really do take time, and like that takes time. Like you only have a certain amount of hours in the day. So if a chunk of that is dedicated to that, um, and then you post it and it gets like 15 likes, it's hard to continue that and find the motivation for it. But um, a big part is just letting go of this like idea of perfection, because we are not perfect. And if someone really wanted to go into their audio and tweak it and mix it, and all power to them, that's too much time for me for a video that I'm going to post and forget about.
Right.
It's so funny looking back on, like, because I for years I've been posting stuff like this, and like I've actually sat down and like been unhappy with like 15 takes. So I'm kind of trying to live this like mantra of, one or two tops and just post it and then move on with your life. That's it.
Let's get into one of the songs that you wrote. Let's take a listen to singer-songwriter Jesse Maxwell and You Don't Even Know Me.
Double died in our rigid ways. Old habits feed the flame. I couldn't run when I double take. Like you don't even know. Your facade is familiar. We moved on like it's linear. We didn't know who we really were. Now you don't even know me. You don't even know me. You don't even know me. The secrets you told me. The stranger was once someone. The stranger was once someone. I threw a dime in the wishing well. I spent time to get to know myself. I carried me like I was someone else, someone else. Unfolding the memories you served me to get as far as tectonic shift, continental drift. It's sad to admit, but you don't even know me. You don't even know me. You don't even know me. The secrets you tell me. The stranger was once someone. The stranger was once someone. You don't even know. You don't even know me. You don't even know me. The pieces are forming. The path I'm exploring. You don't even know me. Know me. Know.
That was You Don't Even Know Me by Jesse Maxwell. Jesse, what was the inspiration behind that? That song has so much feeling going on there. Like your voice is almost it's sounds like you're tearing apart. It's crying out to people, or whoever's listening to the song. What was the
Mhm.
inspiration?
So I wrote the song with a dear friend of mine. Her name is Francesca Panetta. She's also a wonderful artist, and and our synergies just like click really well. And so we said, okay, we're gonna get into the studio and write something together. So she came over here. This is my studio that I'm in right now, and I had the little, keyboard, like the keyboard sample in the beginning. That was all that I had, and I had the melody for the chorus. Um, and and uh and so I had shown it to her, and it was kind of in like a mumble at the beginning. I was like, "You don't even know." And I was like, I wanted to say, you don't even know me. Like, that's the only thing that I have. And I don't know what it could mean. I don't know what the song could be about. But that's all that I know for sure is that the chorus says, you don't even know me. And I had also gotten into like a lot of drum and bass, which is like for me, like a really interesting mix this song has, where it starts kind of like a bit more pop-esque.
Mhm.
And then it goes into this like drum and bass type percussion. um, and we kind of just like sat there and we're like, what could we say about this song? And so for me, this song was really this idea where like, because humans are ever changing, and we're growing and we're evolving in every way, that like there's people who come in and out of our lives throughout our lives. Um, and like as you evolve to a certain point, it's like you don't even know that person that like you once knew. And so we had like set the scenario up on the street where, in my head, so like I'm walking down the street and I like see someone that I know, and I'm like, And I'm usually not always someone who will like say hi to someone. That's just kind of the reality. But some people are really good at it. Some people are not. And I go back in that in my head. And I'm like, oh, I should have like said hello or whatever, like just caught up with this person. And I have this idea of what this person is in my head, and they have the same idea of what I am in their head. And whatever that is, that version of me was 5 years ago or 10 years ago. It's like you're a totally different person now. And it's kind of sad, but it's kind of the way it is. And that's just what we wrote about. And it kind of just clicked. And it was like a really fun thing to write about once we like had that prompt.
Do you instantly know when you have a winner?
It's happened before where I've released a track, like it happened on my EP called Hellion, and I thought one of the songs was gonna really like be the forefront of the EP, and it was this other song that it called Undone. That's like my most streamed song today. It has like almost 500,000 streams, and out of nowhere, and I had no idea because in my head I thought it was going to be this other song. So you really don't know what people are going to gravitate towards until you just like put it out there and then see.
What is your best piece of advice to a young artist that might be struggling a little bit? They're not feeling confident about themselves. They're not feeling confident about their career. They look to you, Jesse, and they say, Jesse, what advice do you have for me?
I would say it might come off cheesy, but nobody can do you like you, because there's so many times where I would like compare myself or be insecure about like what I was doing. And I'm like, you know what? There's so many different people out there who are doing so many different things. And like, I just have to do me. Like, I just have to like follow my gut. I have to make music that I want to make. I have to make visuals that I think are cool. I have to dress the way that I want. Like, that really sets me apart in my own way. And that's kind of what I've tried to do along my career. And I think that that's the best piece of advice I could give to someone.
What's coming up for Jesse? What kind of gigs have you got going? Tours, new recordings, new releases that we can look forward to?
I just came out with an album with Queens County Roots, which is the band that I started with in New York. And I've been working on an album for myself for quite a bit of time. I play at the W all the time. So you'll usually catch me there on Friday nights. And but I keep everything up to date on my socials.
Now, people are going to want to know where they can find you. Do you have a website, social media? What do they key in or what do they search for to get to Jesse Maxwell?
On social media and on all the streaming platforms, you can search Jesse Maxwell and you will find me. And I'm on like Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, Deezer, all that. And I have a website, jessemaxwellmusic.com.
Excellent. We've been in conversation with Jesse Maxwell. Jesse, thanks for being with us.
Thanks so much, David. Appreciate it.